Shucky ducky now. Free your mind. The rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Hey, free your mind. The rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Hey, 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 hey. Hello. You guys, I'm super excited about today. Is day 2 of the 5-day transformational challenge. And we're going to do things a little different on tonight. I'm going to do things just a little bit different on tonight. Listen, if you can hear me, go ahead and type a 1. Go ahead and type a 1. Listen. Let me take a minute to introduce myself for those who may be seeing me for the very first time. If you wonder why I'm playing with my hair, it's because truly I really don't like braids, but I'm trying to enjoy these as much as possible. How about that? How about that? So anyway, let me take a minute to introduce Miss Jill Bullock, and I'm super excited to be leading the 5-day transformational challenge. And I am the founder and creator of BE Transform Networks, all about transforming your whole entire life. We are a faith-based organization, and we really focus on your life and your relationships within your life. And when we say relationships, we're talking about your relationships in 5 key areas. First and foremost, your relationship with God, then your relationship with the most important person on this planet, which is you, and then the relationship with others, and then last but not least, the relationship with your money and your time. Okay, these are all the things that commingle, that intercollide, that impact your life on a daily basis. And so we believe that if you renew your mind, you can transform your whole entire life. And me as the individual, I have been working with career women who lead to help them to find more freedom, more flexibility, and fulfillment in their life outside of their 9 to 5 by pursuing their life calling. And oftentimes that is through sharing their story, whether that's through publishing their own book and or becoming a certified life coach. So listen, if you are looking to become a certified life coach and or become an author, let's connect. Okay. So today we're talking about free your mind and the rest will follow. So many things I think about when I think about freeing your mind. When I think about that, the very first thing that comes to my mind, let me know what comes to your mind. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Prewit George, I see you. Hey, Neek, thank you so much for joining. Hey, Shayna, Holly, thank you so much for joining. You guys, when I think about freeing my mind, what I think about, and I want to hear what you guys think about, I think about like having a mind that's free of worry, having a mind that's free of stress, having a mind that's free of anxiety, having a mind that's free of fear. Now, of course, we know that a lot of times these things show up. It's not like, oh, I'm in fear, I'm not in fear. I'm having anxiety, I'm not having anxiety. I'm distracted, I'm focused. I mean, usually a lot of times it may not even be like that crystal clear 100%. Sometimes we're dealing with a spectrum of where we are at any given time. And we have to find where is that place of peace for us. And we want to be on the side, on the lesser side, right? 30% or less of our mind space being occupied. So the first thing I would say we get to do, and I'm going to give you guys just some steps. I'm going to kind of talk through it. The first thing we need to do to free our mind is get into our mind. Yeah, we get to pay attention and think about what we're thinking about. Can somebody type that for me? We get to think about what we're thinking about. Let's just be honest. The truth of the matter, and you may have heard this before, this is a popular statistic, that over 60 to 80,000 thoughts that we think every day are habitual, are automatic, are subconscious. Things we just do without much thought, whether that's getting up sometimes, right? Maybe getting up in the morning, it may be brushing our teeth, getting ready, the directions that we have to go to our jobs or to take our kids off to school or walk them to the bus stop, maybe making some coffee, tea, all the things. There's so many things that we do each day habitually. Sometimes we don't even think about it. Putting our phone on the charger, strolling on social media, sometimes we even become those activities. And so first thing I want to do is invite you to start thinking about what you're thinking about. And within that, thinking about what you're thinking about, I invite you to start asking yourself about the thoughts that you're thinking and what experience happened in your life, in your day, that contributed to that thoughts and or emotion. One of the things I've been talking about a lot lately, and just really for a while now, is just talking about our soul, right? The soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. That's like I'm going to say the official definition of your soul. Okay. It is your mind, the things that you think about, your will. What are you willing to do? What are you gravitated towards doing? What are you resistant to do? Your will. And then it is your emotions. And oftentimes it's the thoughts that we think, things that we've been exposed to, a lot of times externally, but it can be also intrinsically based on past experiences. So the thoughts that we think that can trigger or cause a specific emotion to come up for us. And within that, I invite you to say sometimes, have you ever had it I know sometimes I be doing that. I try to do that as much as possible. Like if I start feeling a certain type of way, especially if I feel like I'm just uneasy, just feel disrupted in my spirit, just feels like, and I'd be like, okay, what is that? What am I feeling? Right? That's a question you ask yourself. What am I feeling? What happened today that triggered that feeling? And a lot of times I can trace it back to an event, a conversation, or something that happened that day that got me in my feelings. And then I get to, and you get to say, okay, is it something I need to address? Do I need to go back and say something to that person who may have say something that offended me, say something that was inaccurate, say something that I did not agree with, say something to me and I didn't respond in the way that I am my highest and best self? See, the truth of the matter is, I'm just going to, how can I say, I don't want to insult anyone. I want to say this. I'm not going to insult anyone. Let me say this. The truth of the matter is we all get to develop in our emotional maturation. And part of that maturity is just getting more in tune with who we are and taking time to care for ourselves in that way. But the truth of the matter is, especially as women, sometimes we're just so busy moving from one thing to the next, from the one thing to the next, that we don't take the time to care for our soul, to care for our mind, our will, and our emotions. And even caring for our mind could be to something that's getting adequate sleep, right? Caring for our emotions is like those check-ins. So what I'm saying is, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is increase your awareness and check in with yourself about how you feel, why you feel that way. So let me see what Nick wrote. A mind free of self-sabotage. Think about what you're thinking about. Thoughts trigger certain emotions. Absolutely. 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 So that's the first thing. And then also I want to invite you to, this is the second thing I'm going to tell you. So the first thing is just increasing your awareness and checking in with yourself. The second thing is going to be releasing those automatic negative thoughts. So the truth of the matter is we all have what they call ants, and it's called automatic negative thoughts. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else came up with that, but I love it. And I think it's so true. An automatic negative thought is that part of your mind that automatically defaults to a negative outcome, or some other self-sabotage or negative thing. A lot of times we think about the worst case scenario. A lot of times we're thinking about what's not going to work out, how things are not panning. And so these negative thoughts, we get to let go and say, okay, why, whatever the case what you're dealing with, like rather than taking that negative thought and releasing it and replacing it with a positive thought, right? Because the truth of the matter is, depending on, and sometimes we got to be careful what we allow our minds to constantly think about and dwell on. Because if we repeat a thought over and over and over and over and over and over for weeks, months, then this thought become a belief. And once something is a belief, it's like cast iron thing that's instilled in there. And a lot of times it's hard to break off of that thing. And sometimes we can have beliefs about something that's not true or factual. Is this our perception that we've made it our reality? And a lot of times those things do not serve us. And when you do have these beliefs, I do want to encourage you, especially if they're not as a negative belief, I want to empower you to examine it and see if you can find evidence contrary to what you think. Because listen, you guys, one thing you probably don't know about me, or maybe you do, is I'm all about living a principled life, right? And what does the principles tell us? The principles tell us from the Word of God, it says, focus on the things that's good. Focus on the thing that's lovely. We want to focus on the good report. So we want to put our energy towards things that's good and positive. Now, what I'm saying and what I'm not saying to ignore bad things or to ignore when someone, whether they're talking to you crazy or treating you in an unpleasant way or way less than you deserve. And I'm not saying to avoid conflict. Absolutely not. Conflict is essential. To some degree, right? Conflict is essential. But what I am saying is we get to govern how we think about things and how we interpret things. And so, let's just look and see if you can find evidence to the contrary of what you believe. And if you can, great. If you can't and you're like, no, this situation needs to be, there's going to be some negativity or there's going to be some uneasiness or conflict that needs to commence. Sometimes that's what needs to happen and that's fine. But I want to caution you that even in the midst of confronting a situation that something that you feel is happening to you or something said to you, I want to caution you from don't make the mistake of mixing facts with assumptions and faulty beliefs and conclusions. Right? You want to, if you have a certain thing that has happened, you can confront that situation and use an I statements about how that made you feel, but you want to stay away from any assumptions and faulty conclusions. Okay? Facts and conclusions. All right, you guys, let's keep it rolling. How do we free our mind? First, we said more awareness, checking in with ourselves. Secondly, we said get rid of the darn ants. Raid, right? Is a raid, spray, let go of the negative thoughts. Think on the things that's good. Think on the things that's lovely. Yes. And then thirdly, I want to say, let's find a way to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is so important because gratitude helps us to focus our energy on what we have. Focus on our energy on the things that's working. Focus on our energy on, all those things. And the truth of the matter is, we don't get what we want. You don't get what you want. I don't get what I want. We get what we focus on. I need somebody to type that for me, please. You do not get what you want. You get what you focus on. And so if you focus on gratitude, if you focus on love, if you focus on peace, if you focus on, abundance, that's what you're going to invite more in your life. If you focus on being love, giving love, more of that's going to come into your life. But if you focus on fears, if you focus on anxiety, if you focus on limitations, if you focus on things that's not working, if you focus on the breakdowns, then you're going to invite more of it into your life. And I'm telling you, it may not happen in that, is just because you're doing it today don't mean that the result is going to manifest today. Give it a week, give it a month, give it 6 months or a year, and you will see. Because what ends up happening is this thing called a compound effect. And the compound effect is saying that if you keep doing something over and over and over again, those results start to compound in your life. So why not compound the good things? Which, as I say, takes us to the number 3 thing. We want to focus our energy on being grateful. And I want to encourage you to say 3 gratitudes every day. At least, really at the top of the day and at the end of the day. Say, Lord, I'm grateful for waking me up this morning. Lord, I'm grateful for being in the good health. Lord, I'm grateful for having a career. And at the end of the day, whatever that may be, Lord, I'm grateful for getting back and forth from work safely. Lord, I'm grateful for a home. Lord, I'm grateful for my children. Lord, I'm grateful for my spouse. Like, just focus your energy on the things that you're grateful for, and watch just so much cultivating your life, and so much, like, you're just going to continue to reap that, because the truth is you do reap what you sow. Facts, 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 facts. The word of God says, God is not marked. Whatever you sow, that what you also reap. So that's like just a reminder that we don't want to put anything out in the earth, do anything out in the earth that we don't want to come back or somebody to do to us. Hey, CEO Shell, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. Okay, you guys, how many of you guys meditate? Let me see what folks on the book talking about. How many of you all actually meditate? Does anybody understand my voice meditate? I started meditating some time ago, and I find that it brings so much peace into my life. Sometimes whether you're an overthinker, or whether even just being a busy woman, being a productive woman, being a woman of many hats, a lot of times our mind is just always on something. We're always thinking about caring for the next thing, whether that's the next task we have to take care of, our things with our children, our parents, our spouse. We're just always in go, go, go. I'm doing good. Thanks so much for asking, Shell. I'm doing good. So a lot of times we're just like, we have one mode in this go. And so I want to invite you to slow down and take some time to breathe through meditation, and take some scheduled breaks and downtime in your life. I know I've had to do this years ago. I started doing this, and I'm doing it even more now. Just really scheduling, and sometimes not even so much scheduling downtime as is like doing what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it, and then having like float time where I'm not obligated to do anything. And so I want to invite you to that. Like, we don't want our calendars to be booked so solid we have no flexibility to really relax, watch a movie, listen to a podcast, go get a massage, or other daily self-care and self-love things that we get to do. Okay, so we want to take a step back and meditate. And you can meditate for as little as 3 minutes. And some people do it up to 30 minutes to an hour. So I think 3 minutes is a good place to start, that you can just do a silent meditation just to quiet your mind and your spirit. All right, you guys, let's see what other thing I have for you in terms of freeing your mind. In order to free your mind, I definitely would say it's so important that we take some time to indulge in some creativity and just exploration, whether that's going out for a hike, go out for a walk, perhaps going to, like, if you have any hobbies, let me know who has hobbies under the sound of my voice, because a lot of times I know growing up, we didn't necessarily grow up with hobbies. It just was kind of like we just stick to the basics. And I know that's maybe the case for many people, but the truth is hobbies and other creative outlets are so important. And I was so grateful during the pandemic to pick back up dancing. I did dance a little bit in San Diego, not much, but I've been grateful to have been doing it for the last 2+ years, almost 2.5 years, I would say. And it's been such an amazing outlet where I can just, lean in and tap more into my feminine energy. I love to dance. I've always wanted to be a dancer, and so I do hip hop and jazz, and it's a great outlet. So what type of activities and creativity can you guys do to free your mind? Painting is a great activity to do to free your mind. Maybe doing I don't know if doing a brain game is going to free your mind or make your mind work, but let's see. Oh, and speaking of it, I do want to seek that. Even though I don't think that's necessarily going to free your mind, what is coming up to me right now is like the importance of doing like little things like crossword puzzles and other brain games, because it really can help sharpen your mental, just your mind, and help with your vocabulary and just keep your mind sharp. And again, that's one of those things that's a great compound effect, that maybe doing one crossword puzzle today may not make a difference. But let's imagine if you did 3 a week for the next 10 years of your life. I was doing them. I'm going to get back into my crossword puzzles. It's all little good things to do. Somebody indulge in creativity and inspiration. Absolutely. No hobbies. I will tap back into skating. I love to skate. Yes, you get to do that, because if not, when you look up, it's like work, church, and churn. Okay? Work, church, and churn. And then, or maybe if you don't have kids, maybe work, church, and your spouse, or work, church, and your business. And we just end up living a life full of tasks and hustle and bustle and no peace. And so this is a way that we can tap more into that peace and free our mind. Listen, freshwater fishing lately. Yes. I've been fishing one time. I didn't catch anything. Well, actually, I've been fishing, I guess, kind of twice. The second time I went fishing, I don't know if it was the first time. When I went with my nephew, Katie, he caught a fish, and that was so much fun. Yeah. So, all right, you guys, I have a couple more things I want to share with you in regards to Free Your Mind, and we're going to wrap up. I kind of already covered that one, which is connecting with nature, right? I believe even like gardening, I really want to. I don't know if I'm going to start my garden this year. I may not. I may not. I'm not sure. I might start my garden this year. Well, I'm kind of late. Like, I should be planting like tomorrow if I'm going to garden, because you really want to plant in the winter for the spring and summer, maybe fall too, but usually people start planting gardenings. Any gardeners on here? Like in December, November, December? But I also mentioned like hiking, taking a walk, even meditating outside, things like that is so great for us to connect. And lastly, but definitely not least, I want to tell you to free your mind. And this is really good, you guys. I mean, you've heard this 1,000 times, but it's not even about what you've heard. I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to ask at the end, like, I want to know what one thing you're going to take away and implement in your life. So the last thing I want to say is just like self-reflection. Like, just reflect on your day. It's a good practice just to spend some time journaling for the day. Because again, sometimes we got to get out of our heart. Sometimes we got to get out of our head and get into our heart, get into our mind, get into our soul about who we are. And let's really think about what happened throughout our day, how we felt about it. What did we do well? If we had to do it all over again, what can we do better? How did we line up with our vision and goals for that day? If we missed the mark, why did we miss the mark? If we made the mark, congratulate and celebrate ourselves. Like, sometimes if we're not taking some moments just to slow down and think, to reflect and to feel, we'll be running around here like energetic bunnies, and our whole life will miss it. Also, being intentional about reflecting, who did you connect with today? Who did you show love to today? Who did you pour into today? Right? How did you pour into yourself today? And taking that time just to reflect. And it's so powerful. Yep. Get out of your head and into your heart. All right. So let's see if I can recap this. So the first thing I said is just having more awareness and checking in with yourself regularly is one way that you can free your mind. The second thing I said is we got to let go of limiting beliefs and those darn ants, man, automatic negative thoughts, and focus on the things that's good, focus on things that's lovely, and focus on the good report. Then we talked about the importance of focusing our energy on those gratitudes, on things that went well, things that we appreciate, because we know whatever we focus on will grow, and whatever we get what we focus on, not what we want. And then the next thing is mindful meditation. Mindful meditation, just taking some time to meditate, 3 to 30 minutes. Starting off 3 minutes is a good practice. Start that for 21 days and go from there. And then we talk about the importance of connecting with the nature and in doing, that was number 6. So number 5 was actually exploration and creativity, or creativity exploration, doing different activities, tapping into our creative side through arts, whether that's music, singing, dancing, painting, all those things. And then we talked about connecting with nature. And then lastly, but definitely not least, we talk about reflection. That's my time. So you guys, I want to invite you, if you haven't already, click the link in the bio and sign up officially for the Transformational Challenge. That way you can get access to the replays. If you missed yesterday's, you can get yesterday's. Yesterday's was more like a workshop. And also, but I decided to do it more like teaching today. So if you haven't already, also go to our group. If you join a challenge, it'll get you into the group and you can post your homework, because I want to give a chance to give a prize. So I'll pull up the wheel of, what is it called? The wheel of names, and choose for one lucky winner who has completed their homework. And let's see what the growth work is for today. Oh, there it is. I missed it. Okay, hold on. I hope I pulled it up exactly. It's taking forever to come up. Let's say day 3. I did that. Oh man, you guys, I don't have day 2 homework. Let me go somewhere else and see if I can grab it real quick. You guys, let me know what's one thing that you're going to commit to doing for the rest of this week. One thing you're going to do. Commit to do for the rest of this week, so you can free your mind. The rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Let's see. Sleep number. Okay, homework. Quiet your mind, restore your soul, break through and release negative emotions. Complete your homework and post in the comments below for a chance to win a prize. So, identifying and releasing negative emotions. So think about what negative emotions you've been experiencing. I talked about some of them, from fear, anxiety, frustration, distractions, discouragement, defeat, are real things. Are real things. Shayna, did you mean to request to be on live? Did you mean to request to be on live? Do you have something you want to add? She's like, yeah, girl, let me get on here and see what you're talking about. All right, hold on one second. I'm bringing you on, girlfriend. I'm bringing you on, girlfriend.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was trying to leave a comment and my thing was not allowing me to leave a comment. And now I feel a little
See, this
weird having to be on here just leaving my comment, but here I am.
you good, you good. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been live on IG with anyone, but listen, this is the day.
Yes, but here I am on the live leaving my comment. You asked a question. You said, "What are we going to do to take away from, making sure that we do something each day to free our mind?" And I was having a conversation with my sister. I was about this, and I'm actually glad that she somehow ended up joining. Maybe she's following you too. I don't know. But I ended up sitting with a scripture, a couple of scriptures. And the couple of scriptures that I ended up sitting with, uh, the first one was uh worship the Lord God with your heart, your mind, and your soul. Like all of your heart, all of your mind, all of your soul. And the second one was, a house or a kingdom divided against itself, will not stand. And I never thought, like, with inside of myself, like, I am the temple of the Lord God. Like, I guess I could be considered a house. And if my mind, my heart, and my soul aren't in agreement, when I make decisions, or if I'm not, or if I'm even thinking it, and then I tend to not make sure that my body is following suit, or that my heart is also following suit, I feel a great deal of anxiety.
Absolutely.
And I had to be honest with myself, and I'm just like, Lord, I don't know if I've ever done that. I don't know if
Hmm.
I've ever checked all three to make sure that I was good before moving forward or before doing anything. So just moving forward, I think I'm just gonna check all three. Like,
Hmm.
am I
I love it.
worshiping
Which,
you, and making sure my heart is good? Like, how is my heart responding? Like, what is my mind saying? And then my body move before I did all of that? Like, or did something else kind of like make the decision for me? And most oftentimes it's my mind. And then everything else follows suit, and then I never checked. So I'm gonna check all three.
that, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and sorry, I was give me a second. Yeah, it's a real thing. And what I heard you say, even though, and we can say whatever words we want to say, whether it's mind, heart, body. Sometimes I say it like this because I think about the different modalities of life, and it's just the same exact thing, just a different way. Because that's kind of how I remember them. I think about like mentally,
Yes.
right? Is your mind, heart, kind of like your
Hmm.
emotions, your body. That's part of the physically,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
biologically, things that's happening there, and of course I'm going to say also your spirit. And the spirit, the way spirit can be kind of multifaceted because it could be is part of your spirit is your spirit right within you, but we also have the help of the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit. So sometimes our mind wants to go one way, our heart is feeling some kind of way, our body is doing something else, and then the spirit of God may be leading us something else somewhere else. And that is so important. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because I didn't mention alignment, which you're talking about, having that absolute alignment. But in order to get that level of alignment and to allow the spiritual, which is the supreme being that we want to be leading us, we get to fast. And that's another way to really purify ourselves and to find freedom. And sometimes it don't seem
Mm.
that way. And I'll tell you, listen, when you are going through emotional stress, or maybe I'll speak for myself, fasting is like the hardest thing because many of us, speaking for myself, is are emotional eaters. But what I do find is when we do take a step back and fast, it helps us to die to ourselves. And like you're saying, sometimes we've we've learned to override because our emotional and our heart is our first response system. But over time we've learned to do like a hard override and use our head because we're so used to functioning from that level and not being as
Mm.
emotional, especially as women, because a lot of times we're operating in a multifaceted, we're operating as the provider, the protector, whether we're married or not. Sometimes that those things may come up, or depending on the job we have.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for and bringing that to our attention, of the importance of just getting into alignment with our whole self,
Thank you.
because like you're saying, a house can't stand. So we get to say, how can I be in total alignment? And then listen, it's a whole process that we get
Well,
to work
thank
on
you.
every
I
day.
was trying to leave a comment and it was not letting me. And I'm just like, here I am, not even knowing how to work social media to be like, I just requested, so I might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, yeah, if you, yeah, I do encourage you to sign up for the challenge, or to send you to our group. We have a group on Facebook that we can connect with. And I want to give a prize for those who, like, if you answer the question, then tomorrow I can do the wheel of names, and then I can pick somebody and get them a cool prize for
Oh,
doing the homework.
well,
And we'll meet
thank
again
you.
tomorrow. Absolutely. And it's Shayna.
Yes.
Shayna, so
Thank,
good to meet you, my love.
thank you.
And I followed you back on social, so I look forward to connecting with you and hearing from you.
Okay, thank you.
My love,
Bye.
good night. All right. Okay, you guys. So, like I said, click on the link where it says the transformational challenge. Just click on that link, enter your name, email, you know the drill. It is take you to a thank you page. And on that thank you page, it'll go ahead and take you into the group. I'll make sure I set all the people in the group for tonight. And then you can go ahead and post your homework. So I thank you guys for the follows. Thanks for connecting. Let's meet tomorrow. Let's meet at what's tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do it again. So until next time, good night, peace and blessings. Thank you for joining.